7:49, time for the papers this morning with the writer Emma Wolfe and the editor of Spiked, Tom Slater. Morning to you both.
Morning.
Can we have a look, Emma, at royal stuff? Because the Sunday Times says the Princess of Wales is going to speak out.
Yes, and as usual with news stories, when we drill into this, it's a little bit less certain than the headline might suggest. So a royal source, we know about the furore over the edited photograph on Mother's Day and the fact that Kate, it was said she was going to have 2 weeks in hospital and then be off sort of public duties and not in the public eye until around April the 17th, so after the Easter holidays.
Yeah.
A royal source is now saying, and obviously we knew that she had abdominal surgery, but we weren't given the specific details of that surgery and what it involved. So now a royal source is saying, I can see a world in which the princess might discuss her recovery while out on engagements. So that's about as much as we've got in terms of actually Kate discussing her. You know, and it may be that in advance of the procedure, she was feeling worried and anxious and nervous and didn't want to go into specifics, and that afterwards, after her recovery, she is able to maybe open up to specific charities or to I don't know, women in general, or whatever it is. But I don't think that we have any guarantee, actually, from this news story.
I mean, the speculation has always been that it's something quite delicate. But if you put it in those terms...
Quite personal, quite serious.
Personal.
Yeah.
So she shouldn't have any obligation to discuss it?
No, I don't think so. I think the problem they're facing is that they've been open to a certain point. So we had the King pretty much within, I think it was the same day or within days, also opening up about his cancer battle, but
we don't know what he's got cancer of.
But not telling us the specifics. Exactly. So this kind of fueled this thing about, well, how come they can tell us this but not, you know, that far but no further? I mean, I agree with you, Stephen. I think it's absolutely valid to say, well, that's kind of personal. I'm having surgery. It was clearly serious. She was in hospital for a fortnight. She's off for a good few months. I don't know why we can't just leave it. I mean, you know...
All we want to see is her, really, in the flesh, as
Does
it were.
She really
just
exist
being
anymore?
OK.
I mean,
That's all we don't need her to go into detail or make statements.
Well,
I mean, that was their mistake over this silly photograph, isn't it?
No, but it seems like once you give people a little bit, they do demand more. I mean, she has been open. They're doing exactly what they said they would do, which is that she wouldn't be pictured in public. She tried to appease fans just cheer people up by releasing a nice photo, and instead of which it's been massively scrutinised.
It's really
and the conspiracy theories have gone wild.
Yes, they have, and I think that's really unfortunate.
I think it's
and
like
unpleasant,
bullying.
actually. It is like bullying. What's happening on the Sunday Telegraph, Tom, about MPs and Gaza activists?
Yeah, so this is a story about a dossier which has been compiled of various different incidents involving MPs. It could be them doing public engagements. It could be them going and meeting in their constituencies, where they've been targeted by pro-Palestine activists. And obviously this is coming off the back of Michael Gove's intervention this week about the new definition of extremism. And I think it's really important here that we kind of separate out the parts a little bit, because I think there is a danger that, given the fact that in recent weeks, particularly on those Saturday demonstrations, which everyone knows has got quite a visible pro-Hamas or Hamas apologist element within them, that we don't use that to damn everyone or even to criminalise people who are protesting. I understand that many of these protesters, who, incidentally, I disagree with, can engage in some quite unpleasant rhetoric, accusing people of being genocide supporters, baby killers and whatever. I think that's ridiculous, asinine political critique. But at the same time, they should be allowed to protest, they should be allowed to demonstrate. I am worried about there being a bit of a slippage between saying, of course, if people... There's a big difference between people inciting violence, chanting jihad in the streets and so on, and just engaging in protest and agitation against their MPs. And I do worry that there's going to be a kind of slippage between those two things in this debate, which I think is important to maintain that distinction.
Yeah, a valid point.
Emma, tell us about this this advertising campaign for assisted dying, is it? Or for euthanasia, that's used an image of Princess Diana?
Really appalling, actually. There's the image. Elle n'a pas choisi sa mort. In 2024, on devrait avoir le choix. And they're talking, it's a euthanasia campaign in France. They're using the death of Diana as a way to say she didn't choose her death. In 2024, we should have the right to choose. This has been branded absolutely appalling. The Queen's former press secretary, Dickie Arbiter, said this is off the scale of obscenity. You know, people are saying she's been...
Plus, there's no parallel.
No, none at all.
There's no parallel. She didn't want to die. No one involved in that crash wanted to die.
No, that's right.
Euthanasia is about having the right to choose. So it's completely... I mean, it's exploitation in death as in life. That's what people are saying. It's extremely tasteless. It shocked obviously shocked many of her family and friends. And actually, this image has been very quickly withdrawn by the ad agency
Good,
in
because
France.
it's absolutely disgusting.
It really is disgusting. I mean, I don't think we should be seeing car crash
Who was sat
from
around
anyone.
the meeting and thought, this is a great idea?
Yeah.
Honestly.
On every level, it doesn't work.
yeah,
It doesn't
doesn't
make
work at all.
sense. And also, yeah, the tastelessness is really...
It's awful. Awful. All right, Tom, Emma, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Here's the weather.